Okay. I'll show you a picture of that later. Normally these grain cushions are crushed into unrecognizable bits, little semi-hard green bits of sand from Mars. It is my opinion that these particles of sand get stuck in the teeth here and around the big plastic gear, and eventually start pushing these two apart. It keeps the teeth from engaging enough that after they get pulled apart so far from the green sand that they're just barely on the edge of their teeth touching, and I think that is one of the biggest factors in making these plastic gears strip out. Okay. Well, most of the time it is going to be the plastic gear that is stripped. So we will concentrate on taking that apart. Pull it out of the housing. You're going to have to take this flat metal plate off of the plastic gear to replace the gear. It's got a very slight pressed fit, and then it is stamped down to hold this plate on. But it really does come off. Set your jaws to where it's wide enough. Set the jaws of your vise wide enough to clear. I'm at a loss for words. This wide spot on the shaft. I'm wiggling it back and forth to see exactly how tight I can get my jaws without it actually binding that wide spot on the shaft. And I went a little too tight, so that's good for me. Now get your friendly BFH. And drive that shaft through that plastic gear. Sometimes it doesn't want to come out, so you still got to do a little more tapping. And on occasion, you have to get a punch and knock it the rest of the way through. Of course, at this point, it's going to get free and fall down on the ground. Hear that? See how these green plastic cushions are starting to disintegrate? Eventually, they would have gotten much worse and just be pulverized into, best thing I could describe it as green sand. This plastic gear is good. I lucked out here. All the teeth are intact, so I'll be able to reuse this plastic gear when I rebuild this headlight motor. Yeah, I'm going to stop there. Okay, we are still in the disassembly phase. Notice, I gotta move the camera so I can see what I'm doing. We're still in the disassembly phase. Notice these hoops. Oops, there. Notice these hoops on the magnet. They point down into this slot right here. That way you won't get confused when you put the magnet back on the armature. Because if you get this magnet backwards or upside down, your motor will spin the wrong direction. So since we paid attention to where our round glob of silicone was, and we paid attention to these hoops, we know how to put the magnet back in the housings. Pull the magnet straight down. A lot of these motors are nasty and greasy with old yucky grease. You're going to get dirty doing this, so just go ahead and grab hold of it and then try to guide your magnet down without the magnet has always got a magnetic field, and it's always wanting to pull towards the armature. So you want to try to guide it down as centered as possible so you don't scratch anything. Next, you've got this plastic bushing that the armature spins in. Take that off. Notice it's shaped like a D. There, a D. We will be paying attention to that when we reassemble the motor. The limit switch fingers. We'll just call them fingers. There's a C-clip on here. Careful, if you lose these, you're screwed. So you got a metal C-clip. Trying to do this in order. A metal washer. A hard fiber washer to cut down on friction, so there's no metal to metal parts, because the armature spins and these fingers stay stationary, so you wouldn't want all that metal to metal friction. A finger, a brass washer, spring. There's normally another washer in there. This one doesn't have one. Fiber washer, metal washer, and then there's another C-clip on here if you really wanted to take it off. I don't bother taking that one off. Now we chuck the armature up in a drill to speed up the process of cleaning the commutator. This metal, hold on, you can't see. This metal, I have discovered, is very soft. It is really easy to bend these things, so they're not straight anymore. So don't put too much pressure on them like that, or you will bend it. Now, I'm a small guy. I'm 170 pounds, and it's not very difficult for me to bend them. So if you're a big He-Man person, be very, very dainty. Trying to make you seasick again. Okay, got the commutator chucked up and drill. Smoke break, sorry.